everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and we are back with a review of episode number 2 of Muppets Now on Disney+. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you I did not like this episode at all. So all that goodwill from the first episode, the honeymoon is over. Now, it's a shame that I didn't like this week's episode because last week's was pretty okay. You know, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was a good first effort. But no, this show is definitely not going in the right direction. It's becoming obvious that the writers have really no idea what to do with the Muppets, and they need to get it together. They just do. They need to get it together. It's like they don't have a clue. Kind of like how Disney doesn't have a clue with Star Wars, but you knew that. So, like with last week, this week we open up with a crisis, and in this case, the crisis happens to be with Fozzie Bear. Now, for those of you who remember the old school Muppet Show, Fozzie was always running around bugging the crap out of people with his lame jokes, but we loved it because they were lame jokes and they just kind of kept failing, and then Statler and Waldorf would clown him about it, But in this case, Fozzie's using Muppet Skype to pretty much stalk Scooter about his joke game. So that's the running gag throughout the whole entire episode. So like with last week again, we have 4 skits. So the first skit we're going to talk about is the one about a game show. So this game show is hosted by Pepe the King Prawn and Scooter. Okay, now Pepe the King Prawn, I do like. He's frippin' hilarious, and I love that character to death. But game show host, no, not his strength, not a strong point. And on top of that, you're gonna add Scooter show running the game show. Now, I thought he was supposed to be show running the streaming episode, and it just doesn't look right. So if you think that's bad, you got these 2 random human characters from Central Casting that nobody really gives a crap about, and just, I don't know what the point of this was. I guess it wants to be a zany game show, but honestly, if you're gonna have a zany game show Muppet style, first of all, the host needs to be Gonzo. It needs to be Gonzo, and somewhere in that show, somebody needs to be blasted out of a cannon. Now, you can put Pepe on there as a contestant, and probably one of the other Muppets, and probably some really crazy celebrity that we actually do care about, but 2 randos, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So the only way that this thing could have really worked, besides the 2 rando humans, is to possibly have Pepe say something about this whole game show sucks and it's a bomb. And then you have Crazy Harry comes in and says, "Did somebody say bomb?" And boom, the whole stage blows up. Yep, fixed it for you, Disney.
You gave him a 1? He's never been better.
Now, the second skit that we have was actually a little bit better. Now, if you remember from last week's episode, I said that this cooking show had like this random chicken Muppet, and then you had the Swedish Chef. Swedish Chef is awesome. And last one was some chef we hadn't freaking heard of before. I didn't know. Well, this time we have a very well-known actor, Danny Trejo, and the interaction between him and the Swedish Chef was pretty freaking funny. It was hilarious. I really liked that. The only thing, again, that really annoyed me about this is that rando chicken Muppet. I mean, maybe it's just me being old school, but the only chicken Muppet that I care about is Gonzo's girlfriend, Camilla. That's it. That's it. And frankly, for this cooking show, they need to get rid of this random chicken Muppet. I mean, she's not doing anything, and she's basically in the way of the Swedish Chef. So if anything, Disney, you might want to make that chicken Muppet disappear somehow, and just have the Swedish Chef pretend he knows nothing about it when we know he would know something about it. Again, fixed it for you, Disney.
On a scale of 1 to 10, here's your score so far.
Now, the third skit, I'm pretty partial to because I'm an engineer and I like stuff that blows up in science experiments and stuff like that. So we have Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker. Yeah, and they basically have this scientific experiment going on called Melt or Burn. And added to the mix is a digital assistant, sounds like Alexa, actually. So the skit is actually pretty funny, and Beaker gets a little savage, but again, not going to spoil it for you. But this skit was it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It's one of my favorites, actually, and reminded me, again, it had that old school Muppets flair. So this skit was actually done right. So you did okay, Disney. I don't need to fix this one for you.
You know, seeing a number like that always makes me nostalgic.
Yeah? Nostalgic for what?
DDT.
The fourth skit. You were doing so well. Okay, maybe not so well, but this tanked it for me. This fourth skit, again, we're going back to Miss Piggy and her lifestyle segment. Now, I will say they get points for continuity because they still haven't fixed the logo. And that kind of goes with how stuff goes on with IT. When you do send some work offshore and they supposedly fix it and it's not fixed and it's got to get shipped back. So anyway, so at least they kept that part. But with Miss Piggy's skit, it's flipping boring. Okay, first of all, one, they bring back Taye Diggs. As nice as Taye Diggs looks, why do we need to bring him back again? No, makes no sense. And on top of that, you go back to the Zoom segment again. Some human I don't know, I've never heard of, I don't even really care about. Some rando Muppet from, I guess, Muppet Central Casting that they stuck in there. And the only two that I cared about, actually, were the two rats, Yolanda and Gus, from the Muppets Take Manhattan. Now, I love those two, and they were funny. And frankly, if they would have just did the Zoom call with just those two, that would have kicked it. Maybe throw in a third Muppet. Maybe throw in one of those Muppets that Miss Piggy didn't like hitting on a man, I guess former man now. Thank you, Disney, for breaking up Kermit and Miss Piggy. One of Miss Piggy's rivals for Kermit's affection. You know, that actually would have been kind of cool and a lot more interesting to watch. Again, fix that one for you, Disney, too. So, my whole impression is that this episode 2 is a huge step down from episode 1. Granted, there were a few bright spots, but definitely showed how they just do not have a good handle on Muppets humor and how to use that. And it's not doing very well. Because basically, in a nutshell, there's too many humans. There's too many humans in these episodes. If you remember from old school Muppet Show, there was one human or a human duo or a human group, but the focus was the Muppets. So it was the humans trying to understand and fit into the crazy world of the Muppets and not the Muppets adopting everything about the human world. And I think that's what really just frustrates me, because instead we're depending on the humans to help deliver the jokes when the humans really are there to add to the Muppets humor and the jokes and what happens when the humans can't figure out what's going on with the Muppets and the crazy observations and jokes that the Muppets make about the humans. Also, we need to get away from Muppet Central Casting with these second and third string Muppets that we don't know and don't care about, and a relationship isn't really being built up with them, with the exception of Joe from Legal. Now, Joe from Legal, for some reason, is pretty freaking funny. I mean, I didn't even really mind when he showed up trying to tell the kids, don't try this at home, before the Beaker and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew segment. I actually didn't mind that. Joe from Legal actually has a whole heck of a lot more personality than these other central casting Muppets that keep showing up. So I do like him. I don't like him enough to say that he's saving Muppets Now, because he shouldn't be. Also, why the heck didn't Kermit have any real screen time this episode? Is it because his voice is off this week? I mean, I don't know. I expect to see more Kermit, but it is what it is. So overall, last week's episode, I pretty much gave that like an average, a C grade. This one gets a D. And that's being generous. Actually, no, scratch that. It gets a D minus.
And we give it a 3.
It really does, because they just do not have their act together with this. So,
oh well, maybe it wasn't that good. Let's give it a 1.
I should tap out and not watch any more episodes, but you know what? I have to see how this train wreck ends. I have to see it to its conclusion. And my viewers, all you guys can just laugh at my pain as I suffer through watching the rest of these episodes. And I honestly think that I have to do it to really get into my head just how much Disney is just screwing up with the Muppets. You know, I didn't see the 2015-2016 show. I tapped out of that. I didn't see it. So riding this out to its conclusion. And if you follow your girl on Twitter, I'm tearing that apart every chance I get. So if you're not following me on Twitter, do, because I tweet back at Disney Plus. So that's my spicy take. What's your take on episode 2? Have you seen it? And if you did, what did you like about it? If anything that you liked about it. And for those of you diehard Muppet heads, did you tap out after episode 1 and said, no, not my Muppets, not watching it? If that's the case, let me know in the comments why that is. Again, not just hashtag not my Muppets. I need receipts. You know, I need to hear the criticism. I need to hear your thoughts. It's exactly why this just ain't it. Again, thank you so much for watching my video. Please make sure to like, share this video, and also subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I have videos coming up, so you can check them out. All right? So until next time, remember, never underestimate the power of pop culture. Stay plugged in. Bye.
Well, they say all good things come to an end.
What's that got to do with this show?